Hey, what's up, Rick? This is a demo video for you for your modified Dark Obsession by Shadowfoil Props and Corbanth. This is installed with a Proffie B3. You provided me with many of the parts, speaker, board, kill switch, and you gave me a config file. On your config, there were files missing from all of your sound fonts, and these aren't sound fonts that I have. Some of them I had never heard of, others I just don't have. So what I did was I put my own sound font on here. I gave you a very simple config that just has the one font so that you can go through and build off of that. You probably need to go back, check the sound font files, the original files from when you bought them, and reload them onto the SD card. Every single one of them were missing some files, and it was causing. I don't know if you've ever had this error, but it will say font directory error, but it will also play the boot over it. That normally means something in there is misnumbered. So, like for example, if you go into the font folder and you go into one of those subfolders, say the swings, right? The H swings, you'll have H swing 1 through 6. Normally, when you get that, it'll be like 1, 2, 3, and then it'll skip to like 4, or 1, 2, 3, skip to 5 or something. I looked for that. Everything was numbered correctly. You were just missing some. So again, look at the original sound font files that you have and reload them onto the SD card and use the config that you sent me, and you should be fine. All right. Pay attention to the LED count that I changed. On your config, you had 1 for the LED strips in the chassis. I changed that to 25. All right. Other than that, everything was good. But this is a 2-button setup. So you've got your 2 plungers here. You've got one here and one here. How you tell which one is power is, as you can see on this side, you've got this greebly going from one plunger to the other. You don't have that on the other side. All right, when you have that greebly facing up, the switch on your right hand side is your power and your left is the auxiliary. I noticed you took the Suba off of this and then you did a paint job on the handle, which is very nice. And then you also have a custom blade plug for it. So I left that in there to show you that it's got some shine through. To get to your chassis, you just want to unscrew your handle, or your pommel rather. We're going to talk about this handle real quick. It does come loose sometimes when you get it. So before we go over the chassis, I've already tightened it up. I'll do it again real quick. If you wanted to adjust it, you would take this piece right here, loosen it up like that. That allows you to spin this handle. Now you'll want to take this handle, line up the cutouts with the cutouts that are in the actual core. You can see my face through them now. And then we'll go ahead and take this piece and we'll tighten it all the way up. Tighten it. Hold this handle still. Tighten that all the way down, and that will keep this piece from rotating. All right, so that's what we did there. When you take your pommel out, you'll see your chassis. You can pull it straight out from the pommel. I'll tell you how to line that up here in a second, but this is what your chassis looks like. This was printed out of red carbon fiber. So your kill switch here, your Proffie V3, you can grab your SD card here with your fingers, and with a 90-degree data cable, you can get into that board. You do not have to lift the board up. All right, you've got a 25 pixel accent strip right here, and you have another 25 pixel accent strip right here. Now these 2 strips are wired together, but they're wired separately from the blade, so they are their own blade style. All right, you've got a 22 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost Nano Elite speaker, a removable battery setup, so spring side please for the negative side of your battery. I do suggest taking the sticker off your battery. So what I'm going to use here, this is my demo/test battery. This is a keep power, but it does have the sticker off. All right, every little bit of room counts in this guy because it is a bit of a tight fit in the handle. I believe this is a 1-inch chassis. You had mentioned sending this Saber to me early last week, or perhaps maybe even the week before. So as soon as you mentioned that, I printed out this chassis. I had it all installed. I actually got this Saber in the mail today, and I just put the pieces into it, and it's good to go. All right. Now you'll notice on your chassis over here, on one side, you have this little slot in. It's just a cutout right here, right? That's how we line up the LEDs to the windows in the handle. All right. What you want to do with that slot is, if you look in your pommel, it's going to be hard to see. Let me shine some light in there. So if you look in that pommel, you can see that little pin, the opposite side of my pinky, right over here. There's a pin sticking out there. I know my camera work is not the best. I'm not going to win any National Geographic awards, but there is a pin sticking out in there, and that is what that slot is for. All right, so we're going to take our battery and put it in. Also, what I'd like to suggest is there's a little metal strip, if I can focus. Hard to see on camera a little bit, but there's a metal strip underneath the wrap. It goes from one end of the battery all the way to the other end. Very easy to notice when you have it in person. I like to put it right here on the side of the chassis. It's riding along right here. It's not in the chassis, but it's not up top either. All right, so we'll take our kill switch, flip it on. So you got your two LEDs. They are going in unison. We'll take our pommel. We're going to line up that slot in the chassis with that little pin right there and push it in a little bit like that. And then we'll come over here and put the chassis into the Saber. All right, we're just going to screw it all the way down. If it's a little tight, that's okay. Just keep going. And you want to tighten it all the way down until those LEDs align with the handle. So you got those LEDs over there, and you've got these LEDs over here. They're all aligned with the handle now. Now you can come over here and hit power. So I wanted to show you that shine through on your blade plug. These do ramp up. On this particular config, they ramp up when the Saber's on. And then auxiliary is right here. And twist off. All right, you have 3 blade retention screws on this guy. I'm just using one for now to make it easy for me. We're going to pop your blade plug out and put a blade in this guy. This takes a 1-inch diameter blade. It is set up for a full-length blade. This is just my demo blade for demos. So, lights up a blade, very nice. This is a very solid Saber when the blade is in and the chassis is locked in. You could probably go to town with this guy and you're not going to hurt anything. So blaster bolt deflex, blade lockup. You'll see that blade lockup animation in these LEDs as well. And we'll do a twist off there and start breaking this back down. All right, so we'll take this out. I'm going to go ahead and put your blade plug back in it for now so I don't forget it. Go ahead and lock that down. And then turning it off is very easy to do. Again, we'll come over here and we'll unscrew our pommel. It will take your chassis out with it, which is what it's kind of designed to do. And then you'll see these LEDs going until we flip our kill switch and it kills power. All right, when you want to take your battery out, I use a small tool. You may not need to. Just come over here from the positive side, which is by this PCB. Pop it out with your finger. If you can't get it with your finger, grab a tool and pop it out. I try to make everything a pretty tight fit so it stays nice and tight and there's no looseness. All right, so that is basically your modified Dark Obsession. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get this out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, man.